Hey guys, hope you're doing well. In today's video, we are going to be doing some speed reviews. I'm super excited to share with you guys some thoughts I have on some recent products. Finally have my thoughts on the Lisa Eldridge palettes, which I'm super excited about. I did order all 5 and I got this really cute little satchel with it for free, which was super nice. I did get slammed like crazy with duties and taxes as a Canadian. I knew that going in because Lisa Eldridge's site is something that they do charge that for. It's based out of the UK, but I got a significant bill. All 5 of these palettes I ordered in one shot, and the duties and taxes was an additional $91. Just a forewarning to my Canadian friends, this is a significant upcharge. And obviously this stuff happens. It's not the fault of Lisa Eldridge's site or anything, but it's just something to know. Let's start with the palettes, and then I do have some other things to talk about. But this look is inspired by one of the palettes, and you guys can probably tell this is very glitzy glam. Reminds me a little bit of Taylor Swift's Bejeweled video a little bit, also mostly peacock vibes. That's because we're talking about the Sorcery palette first. This is probably one of the ones that I got a lot of questions about as to what I thought of it. Now, this is a really beautiful palette. Lisa Eldridge describes this one as a party look palette, something very glitz glam. I believe she also said it was inspired by peacock feathers and all of the colors within. To me, it reminds me of just like jeweled tones. Those beautiful emeralds, that really gorgeous denim royal blue. We do have some really nice metallics in here as well. And just kind of an overview from all of these palettes. She's come out with a number of different finishes, and it just depends on which palette you get as to which one you will receive. Like there's quite a few in each. Each texture is a bit different. She does have a seamless matte, and then she has a velvet matte, both of which are creamy mattes, very, very creamy. And do remember that because I have an application tip later in this video. Because if you decide to splurge on these palettes, especially if you are abroad and you are going to be getting duties and taxes, this is going to be a significant piece to know because it kind of surprised me with how creamy they were. Definitely an application tip that I will share with you that I think is crucial. And the way I've built this look today, I actually layered 3 shades for the top. So you can see that there is the Troubadour matte first, then we have this beautiful emerald on top of that, and we have this gorgeous duochrome on top of that yet. So it's really this multi-dimensional, multi-layered thing. Now, my application tip pertains specifically to the mattes. The mattes have such a creaminess to them that they almost remind me of a cream shadow. And because of that, I have found that with my eyelids being creased, there's some like elements of extra skin from time to time because I just have like extra, I don't know, it's just how I was created, right? How I was made, I don't know. The way that I applied it, I found with a traditional brush that often these pigments, if I was going all over the lid, especially with the creamy mattes, they would skip quite a bit. It was something that I was kind of concerned about because I was like, why is this so patchy? What is going on? It really does skip with any imperfection on your lid. So I did find that I had to be very patient. Lisa Eldridge is a celebrity makeup artist, so she's really, really talented. It's a little bit like, I don't know, intimidating at times when you pick up a palette and you know it's supposed to be very good because she's a makeup artist that is very, very well liked, and I love her work personally. So when I saw that, how it was kind of skipping and stuff, I knew it was a user error thing because she must have created this to be a certain way, right? So I do find that you need to apply this with a brush using swiping motions. I do think that will help you. I also think working with anything like hooded eyes or any like imperfections, you might see some skipping. So you can also reapply with a fingertip, but this is something that you might come to expect. I just wanted to put that warning out for myself, especially going all over the lid first with this Troubadour Seamless Matte, which is at the very top left of this palette. I just found that I was really kind of taking my time because it was a little bit uneven in certain spots, gathering in other parts, only because it's got such a creaminess to it. I was more so expecting more of a powder, like something I could move around and sort of dust along the lid, but because of that significant weight to it, I do find that it tends to skip easy. That's why I think using swiping motions, I think being extremely patient, I think working with your fingertip as well will help to sort of soften, but don't be surprised if that's something that you notice. I'm not trying to bash the brand. I actually am really impressed with these palettes, but for the mattes applications in particular, I wanted to give you guys that tip. Now, kind of going in with the metallics, that was super easy because I would just work with my fingertips. So this green emerald, this is called Grotto. It's a metallic, it's super beautiful as well. Patting that over top was a breeze. No fallout, super easy. Once I got over that hurdle of how to actually work with this matte, I knew then that the rest was going to be cakewalk because it's really like the foundation has been set, right? Like everything is ready to go. Now I'm just layering metallics over each other and creating that multi-dimensional finished look. On the lower lash line, I did use that denim shade because I wanted to do really a peacock look. I was kind of scared this was going to be too stark, but it actually did work together. So the one thing that she claims about each of her palettes is that you can't go wrong with the cohesion of shades. And that's what I really, really like. When I was taking that risk and I was like, okay, this blue is gonna make this really screwed up. No, like this one is going to mess this up, but I'm just gonna take the leap and see. And it's so complimentary. I feel like it's definitely a very flashy party look eye. It's not something you could wear all the time, but it is something that I really enjoy. So this is definitely a palette that surprised me out of the bunch and definitely one of my favorites. I want to talk about the most like maybe wearable palette for everyday, which is Cinnabar. This one is next. This one also has a number of beautiful shades in it. There are 3 of those mattes in here. Now there's a seamless matte and a velvet matte. The difference between the seamless and the velvet is slight texture. The seamless still has quite a bit of a creamy feel to it, but the matte, what does the matte feel like? Or the velvet, sorry. The velvet is a little creamier yet, versus that seamless matte formula is a little bit on the powdery side comparatively, but I do think both have a significant creamy factor to it. 3 mattes in here. We have 2 of the seamless matte formula, 1 of the velvet, and then we have the 3 metallics. There's something called a top coat right here, which is also something unique to this palette. And the top coat really is almost like a veil of shimmer. Reminds me of her version of a Pop Shot, her version of a Pat McGrath Blitz Astral. Of course, they're not the same formulation, but they have just that gloss of shimmer without significant pigment underneath. It's just a lot of shimmer particles together to really give you that beautiful glowy look. 3 mattes in here. We have 2 of the seamless matte formula, 1 of the velvet, and then we have the 3 metallics. There's something called a top coat right here, which is also something unique to this palette. And the top coat really is almost like a veil of shimmer. Reminds me of her version of a Pop Shot, her version of a Pat McGrath Blitz Astral. Of course, they're not the same formulation, but they have just that gloss of shimmer without significant pigment underneath. It's just a lot of shimmer particles together to really give you that beautiful glowy look. The next one is Muse, and Muse is kind of like, to me, Pillow Talk reimagined. That's kind of what I was thinking about this one. There's this significant Pillow Talky vibe to it. She of course didn't say that was her inspiration. I'm sure she has other inspiration for this one, but for me it kind of reminds me of that. We do have those really deep roses that's in Pillow Talk. We do have these shimmers that are similar, not quite the same, but kind of that same Pillow Talk vibe, if you know what I mean. So if you're a fan of Pillow Talk and those shades, this would be a nice one for you, but if not, then you can totally skip it. This one's called Muse. One that really kind of surprised me, this one is really beautiful as well. This one's called Myth. Combination of formulas in this one. We have velvets, we have a metallic and a top coat. Super, super beautiful. I can see this really dark, vampy purple look with this one. I really love this shimmer in here. I just think the shimmers that she has in her palettes are insane. So I really like that. It reminds me of Natasha Denona quality. Like just that rich metallic, like just the glide of the pigment is super, super nice. What I really like from these as well is they're all refillable, even each pan apparently. So if you do run out of one shade, you can order one particular shade and replace it with another one. This one is actually one of my favorites that I didn't expect it to be. This one's called Vega, and it's a cool tone dream, basically. So this one I had to share as well. Typically, you guys know me, I go for a very typical look, you know, from time to time. And lately I've been really expanding. So this is one that I'm like, wow, like the grays, the cool like silver tones in here. This one is fabulous. And this is one I'd actually recommend. If you are thinking about one or two of these, I really like Sorcery. Like this one is very beautiful. I really like this one as well. And I think the rest of them, it just depends on what you are using them for. If you're wanting Muse, I think you'd be a Pillow Talk fan and you'd really love pinks. If you want Cinnabar, I think that a lot of us have those browns in our collections already, but if that's all you use, then that could be also a great option. So I think she did a great job with these. I really do. But like I said with that application tip, really take that to heart if you have like lid issues like myself. But this has been a hit this month, and despite me getting those duties, I do feel like hopefully this information will help you and it'll be worth it. I promised you guys next that I would be talking about the Tatcha body line, so I did haul this during the sale. My sale was super delayed this year, like extremely delayed. I think my haul happened after the sale ended, so Sephora Canada had a bit of a backlog, but this is the Forest Awakening line. So there are 3 products in here. We have the body wash, we have the oil, and we also have the body milk. The body wash is something I've really been enjoying. This is actually one that is a soft exfoliating body wash. I didn't realize that when I purchased it. There are some very small exfoliating beads, but when I looked closely, it's actually like cellulose that they've put in to be a very, very light, gentle exfoliator. So I really like that. It doesn't feel like my, skin is too tight or it's really harsh or scratchy. It's actually really nice and gentle. This one does smell like a little bit like an herb, kind of foresty smell, a little bit eucalyptusy. Definitely a gentle smell. It's very spa-like. And I really do like this one. I've actually been enjoying it a lot. So I've kept it in my shower. This has been great. It lathers really well as well. That is something that is important to me. I don't know why, but having like a nice, like rich, beautiful lather, especially when you're splurging on something like soap, I just think is really important. So the Hinoki body wash is a hit. I do think worth checking out. I do love the body milk as well. This one is very lightweight. It comes with a pump, very like gel-like almost. It's not super creamy, has a nice like gel consistency with a little bit of that lotion feel as well. You can see it's like kind of like that. It's a little bit watery still, but it's very, very lightweight. And because of that, it really seems to seep into the skin quickly. So I do like that. It's one of those ones that I can use after a shower and put my clothes on right after quickly. I don't have to worry about it seeping into the skin forever, right? So I do like that. The smell is a little bit less than the body wash. Still has that light, spa-like, little bit herby, earthy kind of smell, but in a really pleasant way. And I'm actually been really loving this one. So out of the 3, I would definitely recommend the body wash, and I'd recommend the body milk. The one I don't think that you need, unless you are like a body oil person, is this one. So this is the body oil, and it definitely is an oil. I do find that the best way to use this is to combine it with the lotion, like after a bath when you're really wanting to treat yourself and you're not in a rush to leave, but you want to put it all over your body to get that extra hydration and moisture, but you're not in a rush for it to seep into the skin too quickly. Like it will sit on top a little bit longer because of that oil. So if you have any other ways of using oil that I'm missing, do let me know. And I think the body milk and wash are the ones I've been the most impressed with. I do think the oil is nice, but it's kind of like a standard oil. It's not like super unique in any which direction, except for the smell being a little bit like it belongs to that line, right? That same kind of soft, herby smell. Unless you're a big body oil person, I do think you can skip on that one. There's been a lot of questions about these 2 products, so I want to compare and contrast them. We do have the Cali Ray So Blown Primer. This is one that you guys recommended to me. It's super, super lovely. And you guys wanted me to compare it to the Blur Jam. Blur Jam from Glowish by Huda Beauty. Now, this one really does look like jam. When I saw it, I was like, say what? Like it actually does look like jam. And I do I did wonder how this was going to apply. Do you guys see that? It actually looks like a jelly jam consistency, but when you actually pull it up, it is so smooth. Almost becomes incredibly thin quickly. It like melts really, really fast into your skin and gives you that really nice like watery slip. It's really, really interesting. So this one actually does a great job of blurring pores. That's why I can tell, like, friends of mine have been recommending this everywhere. I know Babs Beauty has, and I've been like, dude, like, is this actually? It looks so strange. It is amazing. I'm very, very impressed with this. Now, this one is so similar. This one is the Cali Ray, blurring as well. It has a very blurring type quality to it. This one is a thicker lotion though, and it does have a bit of a citrusy smell. I do find it pleasant, but it's just like, it feels thicker. So it does do the same job, but it feels thicker on the skin because it's a lotion. I do think both of these products are winners, but I think it depends on the texture that you would prefer on your skin. Both do a great job of blurring pores, both do a great job of layering beautifully under base, whether it's foundation that's full coverage, medium coverage, tint, whatever you want. But I do think that this Blur Jam, although it looks really thick, it actually seems to really melt down quickly and feel very lightweight on the skin compared to the Cali Ray, which is more of a lotion. So it does seem to seep in a little slower, but it does provide that nice moisture. Both are lovely recommendations if you want to blur your pores. I do have an update on the Fresh Body line. So this is one that I've also been testing. You can see it is the Fresh Milk line. So I've been using a lot of the body cleanser. You can see that it's almost done. The lotion is also one that's really, really lovely. So this smells like a totally different experience than the Tatcha. The Tatcha one has that eucalyptus, lighter, spa-like type feel. This one is more homey. It's creamy, it's warm, it's floral. So it's just a different vibe. This one also, I'm definitely going to be using it, the body cleanser, but I actually think that I would not repurchase this because it doesn't lather as well as I would like. So this one is not the nice, like, rich lather that the Tatcha one has. So I'm like, you know, that's the only like downside. It does still adequately clean. It does lather somewhat, but it's not that rich, luxurious lather I would come to want from something I'm splurging on, like a soap. So I love that there's really nice ingredients in here. I do love the smell of this, but I do think that this is one that I'm going to use up, and then I'll probably just pass on for repurchasing, given that the lather is not my favorite. But I do like the body lotion of this one. So this one is a lovely one too, and it also seems to seep into the skin quickly. This one is still that like creamy kind of milky smell, but it's a little bit more subtle versus the body wash. It does still seep into the skin beautifully, but it takes just a little bit longer. So we're talking about like a hybrid between a lightweight milk and a balm. It's kind of right in there. A traditional body lotion, it does seem to seep in, but not quite as fast as a lightweight body milk or a lightweight lotion would. The hand cream is also nice. So instead of having an oil in this line, they have a hand cream. And when I hauled this, I remember saying like, I really wish there was glass bottles with this because that would be so cute if it was like glass bottles versus plastic. But then one of you guys made the claim like, well, do you want glass in your shower? True, it's not ideal. So I agree there. This one can be plastic because it'll be in a shower, but the lotion being like a glass would be really nice and luxurious. I actually have the Herbivore like body scrub, which is a glass container in the shower. Luckily I've had no casualties, but it is a little bit nerve-wracking to have a glass jar in there. So I do see your point. So out of the three, I'd probably suggest these two for sure out of the line, but I do think this one is meant much more for having a little bit drier skin. If you want to really have that moisture seep in, that hydration, I do think this is a lovely one. Promised I would update you guys on this bad boy. This is the Merit Glow Serum. This is a lovely one. I actually really do enjoy this. It does provide a nice subtle glow to the skin. And I did make a comment in my video that it's kind of like salad dressing because there's two parts to it and you do have to shake it like this. So when it does separate and it separates quickly, you can already see it separating in the camera here. Can you see that? I just shook it. And eventually it'll get to be dark and then clear basically on top. But that's the only downside with this one. I do feel like it separates quickly, but it really does feel like I'm mixing salad dressing because it's like oil and vinegar and how like one of them sits on top. But this one is nice. I actually do think that this is worth it. I'm going to continue to use it, but I do think it's one that really preps the skin beautifully with that nice instant glow. It doesn't clog the pores. It doesn't look too shiny. It doesn't look too greasy. It's just a really nice skin prep, and it's one that just adds that little extra. And it's one that I think has just this gorgeous, beautiful packaging. So this one is a win. I'm really excited. You can also use this for skincare, which I don't do. There is niacinamide in here. There is hyaluronic acid in here. There's also like they call it a caffeine root extract or something, caffeine cacao bean extract that's supposed to plump the skin. I personally haven't seen a plumping thing happen as of now, but I also have just started using it. So perhaps this is a long-term result, but it is one where, once again, salad dressing, let's go, and then you put it, pump it into your hand and go. We do have some new Kissing lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury. I will show you guys all the swatches here. There are 3 of them. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar, the Kissing line is her satin finish. It is not a matte finish. So Chic Talk is this one. No, Chic Pink. Sorry, I'm confusing them. There's a Nude Talk in here, I think. It's in their beautiful bejeweled packaging that she has, and there's also a heart engraved in the lipstick bullet. So it's really beautiful. I did share the link, and you guys seem to go crazy for them because I'm so much like you guys, it's insane. When Charlotte releases a lipstick, I'm like, dang it, like seriously, I have so many from her. Do I need more? No. But is it a nice treat? Yeah, you know, it's just something that is so, having a new lipstick, I don't know, it's a nice feeling. So this next one is called Rosy Seduction. It is the deepest one, or brightest one, I should say. Also has a gorgeous pop of pink to it, really beautiful. So it's a lovely color. And then we also have the Nude Talk, which is definitely the most nude one out of the bunch, of course. It's definitely more like on the beigey, like taupey kind of side of things. Very, very beautiful as well. It's just that really gorgeous light pink. Can you guys see that? So there's still a pink quality to it. So we have Nude Talk on the far right. The one I'm wearing currently is Chic Pink in the middle. And then we have Rosy Seduction, which is that beautiful pop. So you can see that, right? It's that pop of pink, more of like a retro pinky vibe. I think it'd be really beautiful with a subtle eye. So that is exciting. Those 3 are great. I wanted to kind of report back, let you guys know that they are the same quality as her Kissing formula, and these new shades are really beautiful if you're interested in purchasing them. Lastly, okay, let's talk about this one. Over the Taupe Velvet Blur Slim Stick. This is quite velvety matte, and it's fine. I honestly don't think it's that bad, but it is a little drying than I thought it would be. This one for me, this is the color, it's gorgeous. This one for me, my lips have to be like immaculately prepped in order for it not to cling and make it look a little worse. So this one is more on the high maintenance side of things. It doesn't really have that hydrating piece, so your lips have to start off quite moisturized, quite prepped, ready to go. There's not any imperfections for it to cling to. It's not super forgiving. And because of that, as the night goes on, the longevity is fine. It does seem to stay, but the integrity of the lipstick will get kind of gnarly. And I think it just speaks to the fact that this is not the most forgiving formula. And for my lips, maybe my lips start to get dry throughout the night. I don't know. But for myself, it's not one that when I went into the mirror, I was happy seeing after, because I was like, this cannot be the same thing. Like, it applies so smooth and beautifully, and then it sets and it's fine. But then after a few hours, you will notice that integrity start to break down, and it does not break down pretty. If you are someone that loves velvet matte formulas, this might be for you, because for me, I'm very picky about mattes. I really tend to go for a creamier matte versus a drier matte, and this one unfortunately is on the drier side. Thank you so much for watching these speed reviews. I'm so excited because I'm going to be working on December 12 days of Jenna's Faves. It is the 2nd year I'm going to be doing this. And this year we have some amazing giveaways as well for all of those 12 videos. So stay tuned. I've been working really hard on this. I can't wait to show you guys my day 1 and get all of the giveaways started. Until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.